my name is Lindsay. We're heavy on the truth over here, light on the bullshit. Okay, let's get right into it, okay? I have my laptop, so if I'm looking down, it's because I have receipts. I wanted to make sure I give y'all a play-by-play. Okay. So this was like 2022, and it's 2022. I wanted to get my hair done in this real cute style for New Year's, and it was like a bust down straight jet black, bang, the little China bang, and I was maybe or maybe not gonna do like a little like pink like piece in the front, but I did my lashes black and pink, right? I had a whole little vibe, you know, new year, new me, so I thought, right? So with it going into the new year, I knew it was gonna be hard to book an appointment, so I booked in advance. I want to say I reached out to the hairstylist that I had gone to previously one time before in like November, and we set up an arrangement. So I had to buy a closure from her, which initially she told me it cost $111, and then she came back later on and was like, it's $120. So once she sent the invoice, I had to ask her, I think one time, because she was supposed to send it and she forgot, and she sent it a couple days later. So she sent me the invoice for $120. I paid the $120. That had to be like December 16th. Now I had already booked the appointment, and the actual hairstyle was booked under, I think, Illusion Closure, and it was 2:30. So I booked the appointment. I paid for the closure. The closure had to be paid for 2 weeks before the appointment, and my appointment was the day before. It was New Year's Eve. No, it was the day before New Year's Eve. That's what it was. So, you know, booked the appointment, everything Gucci, and I'm thinking, you know, I'm about to be the baddest bitch walking into 2023. Psych! Okay, so I want to say that 2023 or New Year's fell on Sunday. Let me check right quick. Let me check. That's why I keep the iPad. Okay, they say get an iPad and your life will be put together, is what they said. Ooh. All right. All right, so yeah, so New Year's Day was on a Sunday, right? So that means my appointment was on Saturday. So New Year's Eve was my actual appointment. So she texted me that Friday and was like, hey, unfortunately, I need to move your appointment to the 1st, that Sunday. I apologize for the late notice, it slipped my mind. I will be attending a funeral tomorrow, so I won't be in the area. $20 will be taken off your total for the inconvenience. I said, I understand. Sorry for your loss. See you Sunday. So my appointment initially was scheduled for 9:30 when I had it scheduled, and when we rescheduled, I just assumed that it would be at the same time. I should have double checked. Even the confirmation said the same thing, but I think it was just maybe how the appointment was moved, but I should have double checked, right? So I was texting her to let her know, like, hey, I'm parking. It was like around 9:36 or whatever. And then I looked back at the confirmation email and it said 9 a.m. I said, oh my God, I just realized you said 9 a.m. and not 9:30. So now I'm sending 2 texts. She didn't respond to either, okay? And I sent another text. I'm like, hello. I called her a couple times. She didn't answer. I think I ended up waiting for an additional hour just to hear back from her. I even went up to the door. Her salon's like one of those like suites that you can rent out, but you have to be buzzed in. So I went up to the door, knocked on it, called her other number. She has 2 numbers or something, and didn't get an answer. And so I said, okay, well, I just left. Can you send me a full refund of $140? Now the bundle or the closure was $120, and I think the $20 was for the deposit, is what I was asking for. And so that was at, my last message was close to 10:30, close to 11 o'clock in the morning. She texted me back at 12:15 that afternoon and said, "Good afternoon. Your appointment was for 9 a.m. when you didn't arrive by 9:20, which is the cutoff time for my late policy. I went home and went back to sleep. I'm just seeing these messages." Oh, find somebody else to play with, because he's so fucking for real. Now, Miss Girl, I get it. I was late. I'm not really late, actually. I actually like to get there early, at least 10-15 minutes early. But, excuse my dog. He's dramatic. But I like to get there a little bit early. But this day I was running late. Can't remember why or whatever. But she was pretty far. She's like all the way out in Waldorf, Maryland. And, you know, that's like a flight. Like, don't nobody got time. I mean, I had to make time, but, you know. So, I feel like, you know, if you seen I was running late as well, you could have reached out like, "Hey, hello, what time you gonna be here?" Something, you know? Especially when you know this appointment has already been rescheduled because of, you know, you, okay? You know, why not work together on this? You know, we both can take some accountability. Anyway, so at 1:15, I was just over it. I said, "A full refund, please." There's not much of a time difference between the time you left and the time I texted you for you to have not at least replied. It's also an inconvenience. Let's keep in mind, you've already caused me by letting me know the evening before my original appointment that you needed to cancel when it's a holiday and it was too late for me to turn to anyone else and attend whatever New Year's Eve plans I had. I still give you grace under those circumstances. I believe she left me on scene. The next morning, January 2nd, at 8:32 a.m., she tried to charge one of my cards for $230. And this is that right there. She tried to charge it for $230, which was the style of the total style of the appointment, or the total price of the appointment.
How was you cool? Anyways,
How was you crispy? Cause why the fuck did you? I'm sorry. Anyway, why would you try to charge me full price? If anything, we could have just called it a loss, and you just, you know, give me my refund for the $140 for the clothes that I bought from you, and this just went about your day. But you try to charge me for the whole. You try to charge me $230 for the actual appointment plus the $140 you already have. That's not happening. Luckily, she charged the wrong card because I think I paid one card with the deposit. I paid the deposit with one card, which is probably this one, and I paid for the closure with another card. So whatever. I pretty much told her she had no respect for her clients. Like, she can take no accountability. And I said I was about to go back and forth with you. Have a good evening. And then I was already irritated. So I was like, "You're the one who canceled last minute. For real, I should just beat your ass. But I'm gonna leave you be. Your policy says I'll be blocked. Do just that." She says, "I was never going back and forth. That's why you didn't get a response from the previous message. You asked me a question about the charge." Oh, I guess I asked her about the charge. Yeah. Let me find that receipt. And I'll post them here once I get them in order. Oh, I said, "Good morning. Did you try to charge my card knowing you didn't do my hair?" And she said, "Good evening. Once you're marked as a no-show, your card gets charged. It says that on my booking site. It also says on your booking site that you have appointments and your plan is to keep them, you know, but I digress." So yeah, that was her response to that. And that's why I was like, you know, I tried to be calm about it, but like, let's be for real. You hairstylists really be having fucked up. This is a hard-earned money. What the fuck? Anyway, I'm trying to not curse because I heard YouTube be demonetizing people if you curse too early. Anyway, she said, "You asked me a question about the charge, so I answered it. Thank you. You do the same." I said, "You were never going to be professional. Be for real." I just feel like the audacity that people have. And then when I had told my boyfriend about it, once I got back, he was like, it makes more sense that she just didn't show up at all, that she went out the night before for New Year's Eve and she got too drunk and she never showed up. Because I feel like as a hairstylist, if you expecting a client that you know you had to change their appointment last minute, then you might go a little bit beyond and beyond to make sure like the communication line is there. Like, hey, it's this and this time, I see you not here, like everything okay, something. Granted, you don't have to, but I just feel like the circumstances around this specific situation, I feel like I would have appreciated that as a returning client. Anyways, so she responded to the for real, I should beat your ass. She sent laughing emojis and said, I'm not hard to find. I said, say no more. No more was said, okay? That next day, January 3rd to be exact, I texted her and I said, come outside. Went right to her motherfucking job. Come out here. I had just got my nails done, so I wasn't really trying to, but I grabbed my little sister. My little sister don't care about none of that. Plus, I feel like the girl was younger than me, so it would have been weird if it would have been weird. She would just had to get these hands. But like I said, I had just got my nails done. I had a whole plan. My nails were black and pink. My hair was going to be a bust down pink. My lash was black and pink. New year, new me. That was the plan. Anyhow. Sorry, I got ADHD. And I ain't been on my meds because they cost so much. I want to say we sat outside for like a cool 45 minutes to an hour. This girl was not coming outside. I called her phone a couple of times and knocked on that door. She didn't come outside, child. Just disappointed because I thought she wasn't that hard to find. I think she ended up texting me, was like, I'm not even there. But she was there because my sister looked at her Instagram and she was posting that she was in her suite. So you were there, you're just scary, you know. But I think that's it for this story time. It's very short. It's you know, my first one, so it'll be okay. But when I catch this girl, I don't care how long it's been. I have something to say. Actually, I have nothing to say. I have hands for her because why would you ever play with my money like that? And I try to dispute it with my bank, and Navy Federal been cracking down on people like scamming or whatever. So she had the closure delivered to her house and told her bank that it was delivered to me. I showed my bank the tracking number that was provided to me that had her actual address, and my bank obviously has my address because they have my information. They have my, you know, my address on file. So you see it's not the same address. Why are we going back and forth about this? It was clearly delivered to her. She told them it's been delivered, but it was delivered to her. So Navy Federal was not trying to give me my 140 back or whatever. She didn't get the 230. She was going to have to get that in blood if she really wanted it. But she clearly didn't because she didn't come outside. So, yeah. Thank you for watching my first video. Until next time, catch you later. Follow me on TikTok. I will list all my socials below. Yeah. Hopefully we are embarking on a new journey. We'll see.